Please ensure you install substructure in accordance with all applicable local, state or provincial and federal laws. Please check with your local regulatory agency for any special code requirements and follow any building codes for your area. Please note, Millennium decking must be applied directly to the joist and not over existing decking or plywood. The substructure must be square with all joists and level to one another to ensure the end trim fits properly and the deck is free of undulations. The deck should be sloped away from the house at between 1/4 and 1/2 of an inch for every 8 feet to ensure water runoff. Millennium decking requires joists to be installed at 16 inches on center for perpendicular applications and 12 inches on center for 45-degree applications. Adjoining boards are to be butt-ended over a joist and gapped according to requirements outlined in the installation guide and website. Once the substructure is built, you can start with the decking surface. Ensure you have all tools necessary to do the job. Millennium recommends the following: drill, square, tape measure, rubber mallet, caulking gun, and premium outdoor construction adhesive, file, drill bits, and screws. You should also have a Millennium decking installation guide for reference. You're now ready to begin installing your new Millennium decking system. Start by measuring both the length and width of your substructure. This will be your starting point, and once you have your measurements, you can determine how long your deck boards need to be. These measurements will also determine how much you need to remove from your first board to ensure you still end up with the screw ledge on the last board. For example, if the distance from the house to the outside edge of the deck is 10 feet 5 inches, and based on the fact that the deck boards are a true 6-inch coverage, you would need 21 deck boards, one of which would have to be ripped down to 5 inches. Once you have cut the board down to size, you can begin the installation, ensuring proper overhang for the trims. U-trim requires a minimum of 1-inch overhang in order to wrap snugly around the deck board without being impeded by the substructure. L-trim can be flush with the deck skirt. However, a 1/8 inch overhang is recommended to accommodate Millennium fascia. Before you begin screwing down the decking, but with the first board in place, double-check that your initial measurements are correct. You can now screw down the first board through the screw ledge at each joist using number 8, 2 to 2.5 inch coated or stainless screws, ensuring not to over-tighten. Now, again ensuring proper overhang for trims, you can start with the rest of the deck surface. Fit the tongue of the second board into the groove of the first board, and again fasten the second row at each joist along the screw ledge. Repeat as necessary for the remainder of the boards, periodically checking measurements to confirm that they are still correct and that substructure is square. Once you've gotten to the last board, you may have to pre-drill and countersink depending on type of trim to be used. If using end trim, you will have to pre-drill and countersink as the trim fits so snugly into the screw ledge that there is no room for the screw head. If using L trim or U trim, ensure proper overhang and rip the groove from the final board to accommodate trim. Again, U trim requires a minimum 1-inch overhang, and L trim can be flush, but it is recommended to have a 1/8 inch overhang to accommodate Millennium fascia. Once pre-drilled and countersunk and using a number 8 3-inch coated or stainless screw, fasten the last deck board down. Your deck surface is now complete, and you can begin the trim work. Cut the U or L trim pieces to length, making note of the corner miters. Run a bead of construction adhesive along the upper and lower contact surfaces of the trim and secure the U or L trim in place. Using a rubber mallet, tap the trim into place starting at one end and working toward the opposite end. Repeat this step with all sides using U or L trim. If added support is desired, while the adhesive dries, drill small pilot holes in the trim and use 1¼ inch to 1½ inch corrosion-resistant finishing nails in inconspicuous locations. When using end trim, cut to length, making note of corner miters. Ensure all screw heads are countersunk so they don't impede the trim. Now, with a rubber mallet, working from one end, tap the end trim into place and work back toward the opposite end. If desired, before installing the end trim, a small bead of construction adhesive can be applied to the screw ledge for strength, but it is not required within the manufacturer's installation instructions. When installing stairs, again check with your local regulatory agency for any special code requirements in your area regarding stair construction. Millennium requires installing stairs to a maximum of 12 inches on center. In order to properly size the nose overhang, the width of the board closest to the back of the stairs may need to be ripped down. For example, if the stair tread is 9 inches and assuming a 1/2 inch overhang for the end trim, you would have to remove 2.5 inches from the starter board. Measure carefully. Once you've ripped the starter board, dry fit the stairs to ensure proper sizing. If sized properly, you can now install your stairs. Using number 8 2.5 to 3 inch coated or stainless screws, fasten the starter board to each joist along the screw ledge, ensuring proper overhang for trims. Next, install the tongue into the groove of the starter board and fasten down, again, to each joist along the screw ledge. Repeat for additional stair boards, ensuring to countersink the screw heads in the foremost deck board to accommodate end trim. Repeat decking trim application with stairs. Once the decking and stairs are complete, you can now finish up with fascia board. Millennium fascia is manufactured for 2x10s. However, there are manufactured guidelines on the reverse side of the fascia for cutting down to cover 2x8s or 2x6s. Install cut fascia ripped side up, with construction adhesive evenly applied over the whole face, clamping until adhesive has set. If clamping is not possible, drill small pilot holes toward the top of the fascia and use 1¼ inch to 1½ inch corrosion-resistant finishing nails. And there you have it. Your Millennium deck is now ready to provide you with years of worry-free enjoyment without the hassle of having to paint or stain ever again. Millennium decking will never rot, mold, or mildew, and absorbs virtually no moisture, therefore no swelling, and best of all, is highly stain resistant. The product is not hot to the touch in the summer sun, and with no splinters, it's barefoot friendly. Millennium decking also comes with a 20-year non-prorated warranty to provide peace of mind that you have a truly superior decking product. Enjoy!